to collect stories like the one in this book, to gather them and bring them back together, to link them to each other, and in doing so, make history whole again. Isn't that precisely what the work of remembrance is all about? Jack Hersch's book makes an extraordinary contribution to this effort. Christian Dieu, Curator, Mauthausen Memorial, Vienna, Austria, March 2018. Part 1. Dage. Chapter 1. Lufthansa. I'm travelling light as I step aboard the Lufthansa 747 jumbo jet at Los Angeles International Airport's Bradley Terminal. It's Friday evening, the start of the Labor Day holiday weekend, but I'm not going on vacation, and I won't be gone long, so I don't need much. I'm on my way to northern Austria to walk the grounds of the concentration camps where the Nazis tortured and enslaved my father, and to find precisely where he hid after he'd escaped. It is a journey that beckoned to me from the moment my cousin Vivian telephoned from Israel a few years earlier with astonishing news about him. In June 1944, my father entered Konzentrationslager KZ, Mauthausen, as a 160-pound, 18-year-old youth. By the Nazis' own rating system, KZ Mauthausen and its nearby subcamp, KZ Gusen 1, were the harshest, cruellest labour concentration camps in the entire Third Reich. After 10 brutal months in both camps, my father had been whittled down to 80 pounds. And then, because he was still alive 5 weeks before the war ended, he was forced onto a Nazi death march, with the expectation that he would finally collapse and die somewhere on the road between KZ Mauthausen and KZ Gunskirchen, a concentration camp 34 unfathomable miles away. My father came close to dying many times that year, but he didn't die in those concentration camps, and he didn't die on that death march. Nor did he die on a second death march 10 days later. Instead, he escaped from the death marches, twice. Once was unheard of, twice was thought to be impossible. Chapter 2. Cousin Vivi. Early on a warm May morning in 2007, I was sitting at my desk in a Los Angeles office high-rise, facing computer screens showing stock and bond prices and world news, talking heads chirping away on the wall-mounted television, volume set on low. I work in the financial field, and was just beginning my day. The rising sun threw long shadows off the tall buildings visible from my window. As I was reading the morning's headlines, my cell phone rang. Caller ID revealed it was my cousin, Vivian Tobias, my father's sister's daughter. She's my age, 48 at the time, and lives in Netanya, Israel, a pleasant coastal resort town 20 miles north of Tel Aviv, with her husband David. Though it was already mid-afternoon in Israel, she usually didn't call me this early. I answered my phone. Normally, we would begin by comparing notes on our children, my 3 teenagers, and her 2 boys who were doing their compulsory Israeli army service. Not this time. Vivi, as I called her, got right to the point. "I was on the computer looking for something for my mother, and I saw your father's picture," she said in her melodious voice. She had learned English in Israeli schools. "Did you know he's on the internet?" "My dad?" I asked incredulously. "No, I had no idea." "Where did you see him?" Why, I wondered, would he be on the internet 6 years after his death? Maybe she'd made a mistake. "He is on the Mauthausen Concentration Camp website," Vivi replied. "It says he escaped from a death march." "It's true, he did," I confirmed. I had no idea Mauthausen even had a website. I'd never bothered looking. "Jackie," she said, addressing me by the childhood name my relatives still use, "you make it sound like it's nothing, but it seems your father is special. I've read about the death marches. Hundreds of thousands of Jews were forced to march 30, 40, even 100 miles to get away from the Russians